talking freedom in nature and art. So great to see everyone today. And today our show is going to be a little bit different. So today my friend Starley is here co-hosting with me. Welcome, Starley.
Welcome, Tammy.
And actually, you're playing host today.
Yes, I have snuck into the host seat so we can turn the tables and interview Tammy. Tammy Crawford has been putting the spotlight on so many of us for so long, giving us a voice on her platform and connecting us as a community. A lot of us are really, really lifelong friends now because of you. And so somebody deserves to have the spotlight on them too, Miss Tammy.
Oh, thank you. So I know I'm a little bit nervous, I will admit, because I'm not one for having the spotlight on me, to be honest. So it feels different.
That's okay. Different is good. Here we go.
Like you, Starly, I kind of like to be
There.
behind the scenes.
Oh, it doesn't work that way. I was going to put my iPhone light on you. So yes, I know you like to be behind the scenes, but the thing is when you're interviewing people, I know that a lot of the times we interact and we share our stories because we want to connect with them. We love our guests and we love our community, but oftentimes we don't take a deep enough dive with who we are, our backstory, or things that we have going on, and our community really wants to know. So I'm here for the spotlight.
I love it. So, and having anybody to host, I love it having you here. So, appreciate you
Woohoo!
doing this. So, thank you.
Woohoo! So, all right, this is where Tammy will probably, if we were in physical person, we'd have that awkward moment with the mic. She'd be going, wait, so I'm just going to pretend I graciously took the mic and brought it over so I can.
Here you go. Here's the mic,
Thank
Starly.
you,
It's
thank you.
yours.
Yay, it's yours, but it's about you. And you know what? Being about you, it's also really about this community. So I would like to speak to you, but I'm going to say this directly addressing your community right now. How many of you have been on these calls and you felt, wow, this is truly a place that's super special and honors me and creates a safe space for me? And I'm allowed to interact and I'm seen and I'm heard. Well, Tammy does that for us. She does that for all of us. And have you noticed on her Marketing Monday, she's like, yes, please promote your events, promote your superhero qualities to the community. And sometimes we have to remind Tammy, like, hey, put your stuff in there too. It's your platform. And
You do. So, thank you for reminding me.
oh yeah, well, it's just because you are so gracious and you're humble and you put people first, and that's part of what this show is for, is a platform you've created for other people. But being a branding person and someone who's all about their reputation and authenticity and credibility online, well, how can I not put you in the spotlight as well? Because that is, we want to know more things. And so I wanted to talk to you about a few things today. So a little bit about your background story and origins. I wanted to know about what this platform, how we can all interact, or what are some cool ways for people who are either new to this or have been doing it a while and forgot that there's these great advantages. So that's kind of our middle. And then to dive deeper into the fact that you have these retreats coming up. And I have to tell you, when I just clicked on your retreat link, it was like looking at a AI avatar movie where it's like, oh, I think I heard music somehow where music didn't exist in my head because it was so beautiful. And this is something you're exposing people to. And I was like, oh, let's talk about all three of these things. Tammy, origins, how can we all of us interact more on this platform and help each other? And then, oh my gosh, that retreat is just like you're walking into a painting.
Oh, those are all three great questions.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll do one at a time, but I was just
yes, thankfully.
previewing what we're going to be
And put it
talking
this
about.
way, we had no practice at all. So,
No, we're not. This is zero rehearsed. I just kind of called it for the fences on three areas. And even though I have plenty of questions, those are kind of the three groups that I'm
right.
putting the
And if
whole
anybody
thing.
else has a question, throw it in here and I'll be great to answer it later, either today or later, because I know some of you watch at a later time. So,
Yay! Okay. Well, so first of all, Miss, I don't get to talk about myself very often. I've had some beautiful conversations with you about your history, your origins, and your backstory. Let's talk about that a little bit. So a lot of us know you about art, we know you about nature, and we know you about this community, and of course, about your events. But what first sparked all this stuff? Your backstory of what inspired you? What's your why for starting?
so if you want to hear the whole story, I suggest you read my book,
Oh!
The Power of Art and Nature. So what sparked was for me to get into the nature and art, and I didn't even realize that I was using art and nature all this time was for pain management. Even growing up, mentally and physically using nature, especially going outside and just getting away, and how it just erases that stress,
Yep.
and you start thinking about other things around you, or like when you're working on art, you're creating, so you're not thinking about your pain or anything you're going through. And so I've always used it, and I got into pain management. My doctors prescribed it when I was 23 years old, because we'll just put it this way, in 6 months time I saw 76 doctors,
Oh
and that didn't
gosh.
count the physical therapy that was 3 times a week
Wow.
already, and
Wow.
all because of a fall, a brain injury, a brain bleed, and ended up being brain tumors and stuff. So, and
Wow.
I deal with headaches 24 hours a day still to this day, but I use nature and art as pain management.
Yeah.
And several years ago, I my coaches encouraged me to write a book about it, a story to go back. And I was like, okay, what do I write about? Well, I started with my story of my head injury, because that was a significant part of my life. It changed me on how I looked at things, perspectives, because we are never guaranteed tomorrow.
Yep.
And so you want to enjoy each day to the fullest. And so I wrote this book, The Power of Art and Nature, 10 Ways It Can Improve Your Life. And as when you are writing, for all those authors, out there, you learn even more about yourself,
Yeah.
right? And you
Absolutely.
realize even how much more you use it, than you ever thought you did. And that's when I actually really realized. And I was like, well, it'd be really nice to share this. And of course, my coaches were encouraged me to do a podcast at the same time.
Of course.
And I'm like, no way. And then friend, I ended up being somebody reached out to me through a group on messengers, because Facebook groups are wonderful for contacts and meeting people,
Yeah,
and asked if
definitely.
I would be a speaker at an event, and then next thing I knew, asked if I would be part of her speaking team for on her podcast. And so even though I started my own, I didn't start. So for 6 months I was with her,
Okay.
and then because of some integrity type some different issues, we'll just say, I left. I just felt it wasn't my place anymore,
Yeah.
and I needed to do this on my own, because I really wanted to I love encouraging people and inspiring. I love where it goes. I've worked as a mentor and coach for over 30 years, volunteer time,
Yeah.
because when you can see somebody succeed or inspire or encourage them to do something, to me that's worth more than anything,
Absolutely.
right? You see it all the time. And so then I think it was in February, I can't even tell you the year, because it's been 3.5 years now that I have been doing my own podcast. Now, I did have Lori Beard with me for several years there helping, and being a co-host, which was wonderful. That taught me a lot because it helped to encourage and inspire me to go out and to do it too.
Yeah.
The more you do, the braver you get. But what I love about this group and this community is the people you meet.
I know.
This is an amazing community because it's about nature and art, the healing process. And it's an international group. And what I love about it is a lot of times you'll be I get to talk to the speakers, right? A lot. We've had over 100 guests on here, which is amazing.
Wow.
I've met so many amazing people, and a lot of them have came back 2 or 3 times.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So not only over 100, so you're already, past, well, because we had the anniversary one, but coming back 2, 3 times, that just really shows depth in your relationships with people.
So I'm one of those, I like to listen, and I don't know, I like to be, I'm one of those, I like to have friends. I have friends at different levels. You and I are like sisters, but there's friends, I don't know, I just like to listen and help others. And it's amazing to me how many times I've talked to somebody and they would walk the trail and they're just looking at their watch. How many steps, how many miles, or they walk past a lake and never notice anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then you start thinking about people go on vacations to different places, but they really come back exhausted. Or the stress that I see with coaches and entrepreneurs, especially, or people high up in businesses, or even moms. Come on, a mom can be, or a wife can be exhausting.
Hardest jobs in the world.
Right? and dads, those are the times that you need to escape. And so many times I see these retreats that are, they're about work. They're more like work type retreats instead of,
oh yeah, okay,
instead of relaxing. So I don't even like to even use that word when we do it, but
yeah,
I want people to come here into our group, discover something new about themselves, experience something, especially come to a retreat where you're gonna learn so many more things than I ever share in the group, and then it helps transform your life.
yeah. You just have to bring that angel food bribe cake, and then Tammy spills it all. So you just, oh, I'm sorry. Was that me or you? I forgot.
No, that's you come in here and
oh.
I'll make it for you.
Oh yeah, then I spill all. Oh, I forgot who was the well, I want to circle back to a couple things. Like I just, see these jewels that fall out of your mouth, and I want to circle back to a couple of them. So one, your community. It's international. When you have guests on, they come back multiple times. Well, when there's multiple times, there's some social proof right there that relationships are being built deeper. I can advocate, or what's that word? Not contribute, but I can say that I forgot the fancy word, the $5 word, but I can say for a fact, advocate, right? That for a fact, I've made relationships. So I'm getting ready to do an unboxing for the grounding blanket. I don't want to, I just spoiler alert. I don't want to say anything, but I'm going to do this really cool video. And then I've met you through Heather. So I call her Angel Face.
So sweet.
Right. And then Adriana. And so I have to credit you for the fact that these relationships that I am starting to build and have been coming from you. And of course, we got to credit Heather for putting us together, but definitely this is a community where you go to build relationships and learn from each other. And if you notice that a lot of people's groups that you go to, you're kind of going to see it's meant to be like what you can come in and take, and not, they don't want you to contribute, because that's just not the way the model's built is all. It's nothing personal. It's just the model was built for come visit and pull from this coaching thing. Yours is a relationship, art, like you said, the freedom in nature in its relationships. It's all of that. And when you interview people, a lot of the times by habit, we're ready to go jump into, the deep dive on our retreats or our sales products or what have you. And you're honorable in allowing a space for that, but you make sure that the interviews are about connection with the community. So I just really wanted to thank you for that, acknowledge that, and say I'm one of your people in the community who has benefited from this relationship. I consider it to be a real honor. And I think that there's a lot of us getting that value out. And so let's throw out a thank you to Tammy, but let's at least acknowledge in our own heads, wow, this is really cool. We should continue to double down in this because you really do attract the best like-minded, like-hearted people. And not everyone is an artist,
Oh
right?
no. So, but I
Yeah.
want to say thank you. Um, Two things that you just mentioned. So, one of the reasons I built this community kind of the way it is from my coaches. They were
Yeah.
great examples, even though
Yeah.
theirs is they teach a lot of stuff on marketing, branding, AI, everything like that.
Yep.
It's different, but it's a community that you become best friends with so many different people,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, just like this one. And this community is, there's just so much love because I hate going on to communities where all they do is bicker and talk
Oh,
bad. And it's, of course,
did
if
they
I
do
see that, I'll delete it because it's no, this
Oh,
community is here to inspire and to encourage.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so
for
it's a
sure.
great community to share with all your friends and family because it's to build others up. It's not to destroy or name call what you see on some,
Unless it's
but
me and
it's to
Tammy.
help and to encourage, right? And so I encourage people to come on and post positive things that they've seen during the week or positive quotes that came up and they saw or beautiful photographs of
Yeah.
nature or art or singer. It's like when we had Lori on last week
Oh, yeah.
talking about music because people forget that the arts includes music, includes dance, poetry, acting. There's so many different avenues with the arts that we forget.
100%. 100%. Do you know, I'm very aware this is your interview, and I like to, if I'm interjecting anything, it's
Oh,
because I
go
think
for it.
it's because I
Interject.
think, yeah, because I think it's part of me as part of your community saying what really, I, I'm not the whole community, so I'm just my little sliver speaking for my part. But one of the things that I found to be really special is the way you give us this safe space and this fun, creative, sky's the limit to connect and to share. I hadn't shared that one sketch that I did. I did it in 1986 and no one had ever seen it. And it's because I was, well, my work's not good enough to show anybody. I did it just for my own therapy and escape because of the what I grew up in, domestic violence. And I had these little ballet shoes and I sketched them. Well, it was a big deal for me to share it in your community. And I know that everybody was loving and, made wonderful comments. But when you allow people a safe space to be vulnerable, you think, what's the big deal? It's just a sketch of some shoes and it's a post. So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is connection. And there's power in vulnerability and there's beauty in community. And so that's what you're doing. You're creating this a place for us to be powerful in our vulnerability and see the beauty in community. That's why I wanted to share that. And thank you, Tammy.
Well, thank you. Well, and it also reminds me two things. I mean, because I thought it was very cute sketch. I loved it. And then the other, when you were talking about our guests, the first 6 months, I would want people to talk about their story, but they would talk about, you
Yeah.
said, what they
Yeah.
do, what their mission in life was.
That's what they're
And
trained to talk about. You're retraining us.
right. So I had to be a little bit stricter, I'll call it.
Yeah.
It's no, no, no. You pull back. It's like, no, no, no. We
Right.
just want to hear your story.
Right.
And when I started doing that, I started seeing more people interact and
Mm.
it grow more. And the guest felt more seen and started saying, thank you so much. This is the first time people asked me questions about myself, my story, how I got here. And I'm also hoping that they learn from it because a lot of times when you pull somebody back to their teenage years or growing up, what they're like and what they were like, and then they see where they're at today and they see what actually influenced them.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but it's also something positive that I find for people that might be going through the same thing or have gone through
Absolutely.
the same thing, then they see the hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the interesting thing was is I had interviewed Nigel Lithgow from that show, American Idol. He was an executive producer. And the one thing that we talked about was how art saved our life. And that was my first interview with you. And you gave me that space. And because I might not be an artist and I don't have beautiful paintings on my wall and I don't have your talent, but art was that medium that helped to save my life. And so a lot of people would, when you want to see where a lot of your community connections are, it's interesting. It's art is everywhere in nature, right? And so a lot of times when they hear these backstories you have with all of your community, I just think that it's so cool. They feel like, yeah, actually, this is a place for me. And I can't express myself because I think everybody thinks they have a little Tammy artist in them for sure. And it's a great connector. That's why my interview with you was so much fun.
Well,
And
and people don't realize this, like when
yeah,
you are painting, nothing's ever perfect. So here's an example. So I worked with two students. I know. I worked with two students that had been through abuse,
right,
physically,
right,
mentally, and spiritually. They got taken out of their home, luckily, and were foster kids.
right.
And a friend from the past, had worked for me, an assistant, but she knew I used to teach private art lessons. And she referred these people because she knew they were coming over on vacation. They live 5 hours away, but they would
Right.
come once a month or every 2 weeks for art during the summer. They did as a
Yeah.
therapy for the state. I was registered, kind of registered. I got
Right.
accepted, was to work with these kids. Well, one of the first things I always do when I'm teaching art or I bring somebody here is to have you walk around my place because my place is kind of parked like with the
Mm.
water and the trees. And I show you things that you probably don't even realize are there.
Mhm.
You're just kind of pointing out stuff. But when I had these, like this young little boy, I mean, they were terrified of everything.
Yeah.
And he started painting, and we're just painting the sky, and he started crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? Well, it's not perfect. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's okay. It said, whatever color, whatever you want to do. It's fine. We're just painting. And he said, but it's not perfect like yours. So I pulled him up a pic on my phone pictures and showed him how on my paintings, sometimes I change the skies 3 times, okay, or more. Nothing was when you paint, it can always be altered, always be
Right.
changed. So it's, if you paint a wall color and you hate it, well, what's the worst thing going to happen is you paint over it.
Yeah.
It's just the way we look at things. And when you can pull out that positive, and I mean, he's thriving today, of course, but when he saw that, you saw the
Yeah.
spark light in his eyes that
Yeah.
it's okay to make a mistake. But he'd been beaten down so much,
Yeah.
so afraid. And I find that when I teach art, like adults are, they have no problem drawing, right? Or sketching something out. They'll have an easier time that, but when it comes to colors, they're afraid.
Hmm.
They're really afraid to mix those colors or put that paint on. And where kids are opposite, they're more afraid to draw it. It's just funny. I'm working with different people on that perspective. So
That's so cool. I think that reminds me a lot of your community and their careers and us and our careers. And a lot of times we don't want to color outside of the box or use the colors, and we want to be perfect. I'm always hearing that for people. They don't want to. When you get on the camera and when you do your shows, I don't think you have a goal to be perfect. You have a goal to be organic and to be expressive and expansive in terms of growth and connection. But and I think people can walk away with some beautiful lessons and great feelings when they're watching your shows because you have to realize that I'm the one that they come and do the confessionals to. Because if you're doing media training and helping them, what are they saying? Well, this isn't perfect. It's not going to be like the Instagram picture of somebody's best day compared to you said, sky number one. And maybe the goal's not even perfection, maybe the goal's expression. So I love that this podcast show, this family that you've created, lets people see. Just start grow, and connect. And no, it doesn't have to be perfect. So it was a really great story, Tammy.
Well, thank you. And I'd like to be even the one that offers the first chance to somebody.
Yeah. Oh,
But I am picky on
yeah.
who I bring on as a guest. I want to make sure that if they're posting on social media, everything's positive.
Yeah, yeah. You're
If it,
generous with people, but you have healthy boundaries for what's safe, healthy behavior. And so, yeah, positive language or, yeah, just putting love out in the world, not hate out in the world.
no, yes. And as you promote and brand different people, would you want to you don't want to put anybody out there that's going to look negative against your brand because they're so negative.
Yeah, and here's even a deeper dive on that to prove your truth and how this is great mentoring advice from you. I did spend a decade and a half of promoting really well-known, internationally well-known brands, very, very high profile. And then I just had some changes with my system, my immune system and hormones and thyroid and all of that. And almost none of those things that I spent more than a decade promoting could I wear anymore or use or consume. And so all of a sudden, there's this massive departure in rebranding because it's like it's the same with people. So it's who shows you go on, what you put out in your social, and who you monetize with. And I was like, darn, I feel bad. I can't really promote these folks anymore, but I would feel like a fraud because I can't wear it. And maybe other people can and they're fine and they're not as sensitive to me as me, but I just can't do it. So for you, when I think about, especially you've got your upcoming retreats, you were so sensitive to me. And I know we're like sisters and our way of bonding, guys, is making fun of each other. So if you think we're mean to each other, it's just a sisterly thing. We really, that's how we show affection. But I mean, you will treat nice.
Yes,
But
yes.
so
Not everybody, because everybody has different things,
you're
but
right. Yeah.
we have a weird energy. We'll
Yeah,
just say it that way.
it works for us. It works for us. I'm actually just you. I create that safe space for other people. But for you and I, I don't want anybody to read anything other than into their two fun sisters playing. But as far as your event, I had all these questions that I was actually uncomfortable in the beginning, even asking a sisterly friend. And that was, I don't really like to publicly, talk about this a lot because I don't want to make myself the front of attention. But when I'm at your event, I have issues with where the breathing stuff. So if I'm around a lot of chemicals, you know, uh, the heavy, what do you call the little pine trees in the car even is a
Oh,
little, that's a little too much for what my body can handle. So I have to be really careful with Ubers and things like that. So at an event, I want to bond and connect. And you've got all of this nature and you're really selective of how many people are there and who, and that everybody's like match make kind of great fit. But I'm embarrassed to say, well, Tammy, I'm going to have to go run off into the forest by myself because I can't breathe around certain things. And you were so reassuring. And I imagine you have other people that are like, well, I'm gluten free or I can hike, but I can only go this far because of my ankle or whatever. So your retreats, I see it as a retreat, but I really see it as a vacation where I actually get to transform myself and kind of get past some of my sensitivities or grow stronger in those areas. And then I get to work with the master on art. I mean, Miss Ballet Shoes here is going to be having so much fun, but without feeling judged.
thank
Oh,
you. And that's the goal. I want people to go home after this feeling relaxed and refreshed, energized, transformed, because they're come and they discover something positive
yeah.
and breathe in this fresh air. I mean, I am
Yeah.
blessed. I am so surrounded by natural beauty, and it's like all my windows and stuff are open early this morning. It's supposed to be 80 degrees, which is a perfect temperature.
Ooh,
I have streams here, green grass. It's all park setting.
yeah.
And, you can watch the wildlife, the turkeys, the deer, the hummingbirds.
Right.
It's all here. I am so lucky. And then, depending on people's abilities, is where we take them hiking or painting. I just have to know who's here because everything is always planned around. And like you said, if somebody's gluten free or lactose or has allergies, of course we work with that because I have problems every once in a while. I look at myself. We all go through different things, but if I can help in some way, encourage it, I want you to come and feel what I feel. And when you are with others, it just kind of opens your mind. You're just talking, and you get to know other people on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And when you come in here, you get to ask me questions too.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the structure part of the event. I'm a visual person, right? And so I think in terms of also that TV producer in me is pre-production, production, post-production. So I'm trying to visualize actually kind of walk me through a day. But I will say that right off the bat, I don't look at your retreat as a traditional retreat. I look at it as this crazy combo that's so rich in value of have any of you guys ever gone on a vacation and you come back exhausted because the schedule was so regimented, or you didn't have time to take a picture or paint or just sit there and absorb something that was so cool? Because so many of I've been all around the world,
That's
and
like going to Disneyland, right?
and
As
I'm like,
vacation. You come
yeah,
back. I mean, look at all the costs
exhausted.
there. And you come back totally exhausted.
So you just spend money, you come back exhausted. Where's your transformational experience? You need a vacation from your vacation. So I don't do those because I'm not into that at all. Yours is so opposite of that. This is a utopia. It is a paradise with a person that says things like, well, of course I take care of gluten free and all that. Well, that's not of course for everybody else. So that's why you're being interviewed right now because not everybody else on the call is like, well, of course she would provide all that. They don't know that. And you got to check out that your retreat page because it really does walk you through stuff. But let's talk about it. What would a typical day be like? I show up and what happens? Give me the
So,
the the,
so
the
first thing in
movie.
the morning, we're calling it the morning is art of discovery, right? And so each
Yeah.
morning we'll begin with just a relaxed gathering and
Yeah.
kind of like a brunch if you haven't eaten breakfast with like muffins and yogurt and fresh fruit, right? Just little
Mm,
things. So in some juice and coffee and tea. So it's all
yay.
sitting there because I want you to mingle. I want you to get to know each other.
Yeah. Break bread.
Basically, break it. Eating meals is with others is so important. Even just a cup of juice or tea or whatever, or
Or
my
cake.
coffee. So.
Yeah. Range of
And
food cake.
then in that morning, we'll have an hour long session that I'll
Mhm.
either talk about nature photography tips
Yeah.
or it'll be like creative observation techniques,
Yeah.
or it could be something simple about like finding inspiration in nature, just different
Yeah.
things, you know? It's like happen to listen to the people that are coming. So if there's like some question or something that somebody's like, hey, I really want to learn this while I'm there or learn something, then they'll be probably thrown in.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that real quick that I'm asking you for, hey, describe it. But realistically, I know you alter it to your people. So this is just an example of, basic structure. But I realize because I've heard you talk about it, you alter things to fit the people in the situation. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying the picture you're painting.
And then late morning, a little bit later on, we'll head out and we'll go, say the first day, we'll go on a hike.
Right.
That's only an hour long hike. It might take 2 hours because we'll take, if it takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours. We're going to take our
Right.
time, take
Yeah.
photos, do some different things
Yeah.
because I want you to see the area. And you want to go out when you're hiking, you want to usually go earlier in the morning or later in the evenings. And with everybody here, we'd probably go earlier morning.
Yeah.
And we'd come back and you'll have lunch.
Woohoo.
Will be provided here. And then in the afternoons, you have your time where you can go and enjoy the area or you can stay here. It's up to you. And you can go out to dinner or whatever you want to do and then come back. Now, in that afternoon, I'm going to give you an assignment like a photography scavenger hunt to where you have to find certain
Oh.
things. You say the first date. So you're taking photos because I'm going to teach you that on how to take photos so you learn how to take better photos even with your phone.
Okay, so we can use
And
our
if
phone.
you are bad with, and if you think you're going to be looking at your phone all the time, then bring a little camera.
Oh, okay. Good advice.
You
So
know,
either
I
or.
use my phone, but I just turn. You can just turn it into airplane modes if
Oh,
necessary. If it's being distracting.
that would work for me. If I don't have it on airplane mode, I'll get distracted, but I like using my phone as my camera. So that's a really
And
good
I do
tip.
too. I use my phone as my camera because I download so many photos. And with
Okay.
Google, it can go to your computer or on your camera, and you can put it into Photoshop and all the different other things.
And
So,
we can use our photos for our personal social media or put it
oh
on
yeah,
our
oh yeah,
business page, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So, and then in the evenings, I invite everyone back if they would like to come and sit by the campfire. And if for some reason fires, we have a fire table as well. So to
Ooh,
kind of just discuss what the day was like, to mingle, just to get to know each other even more.
cool. Yay, I love it. So,
And then one day, of course, we're going to be painting, and one day I want to take you out in the boat. I want to take you on the water.
so I'm feeling activity and being able to decompress. And so a lot of people, when you have unlocking freedom, so that's not just a title for me, that's part of your battle cry and something that's actually functionally true. So, how many of you have ever gone right before you go to sleep? You have this amazing idea, or you're in the shower and you have this amazing idea, or you're driving. It's usually like a lot of times where you had a plugging moment from your phone or your computer and teaching or serving the world. And so I find that most of the people I know that do things such as go to your kind of event have these epiphanies about their business, about their personal life, about their health. A lot of times they'll come back to me and they'll be like, "Yeah, I remember I was struggling with you were helping me with my umbrella brand and I really couldn't lock in." Well, at Tammy's event, I was able to finally relax my brain. I was finally able to really be honest with myself about what was important to myself. So I like that. So you've got the huge vacation feel, you've got the huge unlocking, and that's what I call transformational moment. It's not like it's the first time you've ever seen a tree, but it might be seeing a tree in a different way. And in that moment, having just a few minutes to yourself. And you're so supportive with that, Tammy. You don't make us feel rushed. Tour guides in Europe, I'm like, I get it. I remember they did a great job functionally, but I don't remember anything. And I had to go back and look at the photos to see what did I look at. And so the way you do it is so different and it's so effective.
Well, thank you. Well, I want people to remember. I want them to use it then in their everyday life. And as a lot of times as coaches and entrepreneurs, we get so busy, we
Right.
lose our focus. But when you step out in nature or art, especially nature, for me anyway, I find if I get stressed or don't have a clear picture, I
Yeah.
go on a hike and I
Yeah.
come back and you said, I'm so much more creative, energized, and it's like I get it when I'm out on the trail
Yep.
or when my grandson was here last year and he was walking with me and he goes, I get it now, Grandma. I
Whoa.
understand because when you're out here,
I get
all
it.
your problems just go away.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then,
The eyes of a child, such honesty.
but it's when you, because it's all this other, it's just this feeling. And because you're focused on the nature, the sky, the smells, the sounds. It's when I was on the trail the other day and watching the turtle laying eggs or the blue heron standing there kind of fishing, or I've had eagles drop fish down right in front of me
Right.
or
Gosh,
fishing.
it sounds like epiphany transformational moments from everyone who's an executive to anyone who is really actually art focused. It works for both. We're just getting different, maybe different perspectives, but while we're there, even if we're seeing the same thing, it's like different point of views, like a camera lens, it's different point of views.
Right.
But yeah, that's incredible. So what your grandson had said is what a lot of us adults need to have reality checks on is because tell you what, it's been like trying to get my phone out of my kung fu grip. My husband, he's 6'2" and a big burly guy, but he's like, I'm trying to get that phone out of your kung fu grip hand. And but life changes for me when I step into your world and your thought process. And you're not a tour guide, you're a mentor walking people through a paradise that allows your mind to shift so you can have these new paradox in terms of your thoughts. And yeah, I just think it's just such a magical, for a lot of us, it's a kind of a once in a lifetime of experience, even though it should be regularly. For you, I know it's
It
regular.
should be. Well, and look how many therapists use going out in nature now. I mean, I've had
Yeah.
quite a few therapists on my show,
Wow.
and even my
Wow.
sister's a clinician was talking about this
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the fact that when you go outside and you're walking on a trail, people have a tendency to listen more.
Yeah. Sounds like the best prescription pad.
It does. And look at the thousands of dollars you pay a therapist. Well, if you can learn how to do that, how to go outside and just learn to enjoy. And sometimes you have to be pushed and have that start, and I'm your start.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your start, when is your start date? And then I think it's the
It's
17th, 18th,
July
July
16th through
16th.
17th and 18th.
Okay.
There is an extra mastermind day the 19th. So if you sign up before the end of June,
Okay.
you get that fourth day for free.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So basically,
Otherwise, if you just want to come for that one day, you can.
okay. Okay. Oh
You
gosh, even
know,
that's worth it. How many people have gone somewhere to vacation or go to a seminar and they don't even come back with this? Let's be honest, what happens at those? You go there to meet other people, to network that you don't have time to talk to you because you got your 5 or 10 minutes in the hall. You don't have an hour of a nature walk. And then you go to try to learn a massive amount of things. And so you're like drinking from a fire hydrant. And so it's really difficult to even get a drop. So you leave there with a bunch of notes and a lot of times nothing actionable because it's so rushed. It's usually really overwhelmingly valuable, but just because it's valuable doesn't mean it's effective. If you can't go through a transformation and you can't implement it, it's not as effective. So the time span that you give people to go through transformation and to ask you questions, oh my gosh, and then to enjoy the whole thing and you're in paradise, yeah, so that is a lot different. I mean, look, we fly, hundreds of thousands of miles to go to seminar situations or a 1 day vacation. And this is like combination, but on a much higher level.
it is because I'm not only opening because I want to do a boating day because
Mm.
that is just incredible day, right?
Boating,
Oh, I don't know if you because when you're just spinning on the water, we
right,
just use the boat kind of as a dock,
right.
so you can jump off, go swimming, you can go fishing, just do different activities, or just lay there.
Yeah.
And so it's just relaxing or in sightseeing and stuff. And then one day we're gonna actually go to my garden and pick fresh food,
Mm,
veggies and
yeah, I love
fruits,
it.
and make our meal.
I love
So
it.
you're I'm actually throwing in that as well.
Yeah, I've often heard you say that you take care of people so well they don't want to leave. And I know when you go there, there'll be a little circle with my face and a line through it. Go home, Starley. You've been here long enough. But anyway, oh my gosh, Tammy. Well, what else would you like to talk about before we wrap this up? Because I think what we did cover was some of the beautiful origins and backstory that some people know about you in this community and some don't. We got to talk about what an amazing place that this is to come and share, to connect, that you give other people so much of a platform to share their voices, your interview style, how people are celebrated as who they are as people and not just for what they do. It's not a salesy place, but yet you welcome people to share their sales, especially on a a marketing Monday on your
Yeah.
in your internal private group, and the group's private and everyone in there is hand selected, and then we got to go into your retreat, which you do them more than once a year, but this one is in July, and no two are exactly alike, so they're all super unique. And so we're going to make sure that the links that you have are below in the interview, and I know that when we're sharing some of our reels, we'll include those links in there as well. And for sometimes it takes us a little while to really prepare for these things. So what would be a good time frame for people to reach out to you if they have questions, or they're pretty serious, or they're very interested, because I know what it's like to get an inquiry a couple of days too soon or a couple of weeks too soon in front of an event. And it's like a little more challenging to jump through those fire hoops to take care of them. So when would be kind of a good cutoff point for you for
Um,
recommendation?
I have put down June 29th at the latest.
29th.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
June
see.
29th, 30th. Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I need
Yeah.
at least 2 weeks to plan to know
Yeah.
who's coming, because there's a lot that goes into an event.
Yeah, so they have, okay, basically then they have this week and next week to ask all the questions that they
But
want.
the sooner the better, because Chris said we're taking reservations.
Yeah, and this isn't like
Yeah.
20 people, or 30 people or 50 people. Yeah,
And it depends on
this is
how
a
many
couple of
people we
people.
have, and if because rentals and stuff do fill up in our area. You're talking North Idaho, where we're an hour from the Canadian border,
Yeah. So,
and our area is well known.
okay. I'm looking on the calendar. So what I'm seeing is they basically have, if they're flying in, they have more than 4 weeks to get a good deal on flight. And then this, so that for this week is a really great time to ask. And then next week's still good. They should still be able to get really good deals because they're right
Right.
in that little bubble. I like to speak in those terms because so many of us travel, and this is the first thing we do is we get on and we look at what are the flights available, and then from there, logistics and stuff, you can help them out with that. But we're
Well,
trying to.
and I put a list of links for different hotels in the area,
Okay,
um, and places to eat and stuff's already attached on the
okay, cool,
website.
cool,
And
cool.
then also people can look up Airbnbs and different
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that.
But it sounds like you've knocked out a lot of the research for them. And then you and I are also making sure that they realize they have plenty of time right now to be asking the questions. I just find that I've been guilty myself of asking the questions maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks later or a few days before the event. I'm like, oh man, I was interested, but I didn't give myself enough padding because we all have so much going on in our lives. I think it's a good time to stop this week. And,
Yes, this week's preferable. The sooner the better, like you said, because a lot of times we have it in our mind that we're going to do this,
yeah,
and then something happens. I call it the squirrel moment. It's just like I set out to do this, and all of a sudden this happens. So then I'm going over here, or this happens,
yeah,
and then I'm like, oh crud, I need to get back. It's kind of like I was talking with Adriana last Thursday, and I had promised her a
yeah.
recipe, and she got it yesterday. And it wasn't
Ah!
because my intentions were to send it that night. And if I would have just went and done that, it would have been great.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's
then it was
still
like,
good
oh, I'll do it
timing.
tomorrow. And then I'll do it tomorrow. And so, yes, you were definitely right. So if it's on your mind right now, direct message me and let me know. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm interested. Or just go on and sign up. So,
Yeah, and it doesn't cost anything to ask questions. So we're just saying this is a really good time this week to ask the questions. That way, if it's like a reality in your time period for this particular time, yeah, it's better to ask in advance is all.
and if it's a
Um,
question that can be for the whole group, ask it here. So,
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Anybody wants to send their angel food cake recipes to me? I'm sorry, this is the Tammy show. This is the Tammy show. Oh my gosh, I knew it. I was so
well,
good
you
till
have
the
to, you
very
want
end.
the angel food cake that's gluten free.
I know, right? I was so good, Tammy, till the very
And I
end.
have the recipe for you, dear. So
Oh my
I'll have to
gosh.
make it. I have to just make it when you're here and make sure you like
Yeah.
it.
Oh no, I have to go in person. I mean, Starley doesn't
Yep.
do well with the stove, but or the see the oven. I didn't even know where you put it. It's a hot place in the kitchen. I know the but okay, well, Tammy, I think you have given us such a beautiful look into your heart, and it's great that we got to think about some of the structure in your mind in terms of community, our connection, and this beautiful event. And I'm just so honored to get to be your friend, to get to learn from you. You're an amazing mentor, and to get to experience your paradise that we'll call a retreat. So the
Well,
mentor,
we called it North Idaho Art and Nature Escape
yes, it doesn't matter
because it's
what you,
escape. Because after talking to you, it was like, yeah. It's sometimes it's some of these words that people use. They twist them so much you can't
yeah,
even use them anymore.
I know. So we have a hard time sometimes relating to the word retreat. It's the common word that everyone is using. So that's why a lot of times we use it. But
Right.
yeah, it's the escape, it's the transformation. And I know even though you're learning and growing and there's the transformational moments, it's really hard for me not to look at it as a vacation too. It's because it just, wow, it's crazy that it's even more of a vacation than a lot
Well,
of the
and when you
vacations we
brought it
book.
up, I didn't even think about this. And so Starley brought up the fact that it would be a great place for a husband and wife that wants
Yeah.
to connect, wants something
Yeah.
different, like engagement, anniversary special or whatever,
Exactly.
or mom and daughter, or two
100%.
sisters, or
Well,
the
what are you
list
going
can
to
go
connect
on.
more on? Let's look at our reality check. If you're going to go on a travel vacation with your spouse for an anniversary or it's a honeymoon or someone's birthday or anything like that, if you're on one of those tight schedules with the traditional tour buses or I need to go see the hot spots and this 30-minute drive over here and I'm going to be in a cab for all this time and then let's go take the picture in front of the iconic thing. This is going to put you in more touch with that other person that you wanted to connect with deeper. And the same thing if it's daddy daughter or it doesn't matter. Just son has dads moms with their sons or daughters. But I just saw it as a reconnection time, and for just even me by myself and not coming with, let's say, my spouse. I might be taking a deep dive in another perspective. So my I already know which parts of it my spouse would love out of it. But if wanted to come by myself because his schedule wouldn't allow, I already know there's way more than enough stuff for me because I want the deep dive in nature. I need time. I don't want just my fun spiritual moments to be 5 seconds in the shower or when I'm driving and you can only pay attention so long, right? When you're driving.
Right.
It's just this is a time that even if you're there on your own, that's your own transformational experience.
Well,
So
and
thanks for
everything's
creating that.
designed around for that, for just you.
Yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
for each individual
Did you
that
bring
you,
in all the trees just for each individual in the lake?
yes. I
Wow,
planted,
Tammy.
I asked God to plant them over 100 years ago.
I figured you just painted it and then it just showed up.
But yes, because your connection time is when you're walking on trails with your spouse or your
Yeah.
sister or whoever,
All right.
or you're going to meet different people here. Pop a good
Okay.
friend in.
All right. All right. I'm so excited. Okay. All right. So we're going to wrap up this interview. I think we had three really amazing compartments that all really overlapped in such a cool way. And Tammy, thank you for allowing me to be in this position to get to put the spotlight on the person who's been putting the spotlight on all of us. You're so gracious. You have such a generosity of spirit. So we say thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Starley. And I want to say real quick, thank you, Sharon, Suzanne, Trish, and everyone else who was watching today. We really appreciate you being here. And for those watching later, thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Heather for letting me meet Starley. It's been such a great connection. And Starley, it is always my honor for you to taking the time, because I know Starley had other things scheduled. She does on Tuesdays, but she takes the time to be here. So I appreciate you so, so much. And I do owe you angel food cake for that. So
I will not argue with you. You're the mentor.
so thank you so much. And if Starley said, if you have any questions, just ask or go to unlockingfreedominnature.com. Be sure if you know somebody you think, hey, they would be a great guest on here, let us know. And if you have wonderful posts, photos, different things, we love that interaction on our social media site. And thank you for everyone who is in our Facebook group, Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art. We appreciate each one of you. I appreciate you. So thank you so much. And I hope everyone has an amazing week. And we'll be back next week, right, Starley?
You betcha.
All right. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.